to avoid the huge falling rocks coming from the ceiling, they were forced to swim through an unexplored part of the cave. After diving for over an hour, they came across an island and decided to set up camp until the rescuers could get to them. After 2 days of being trapped in the cave, the cameraman decided to start filming in case they don't make it out of there. At the same time, one of their crew members does something very stupid.
Tunnels, take your pick! Oh, okay. Hello! Please! Is there anybody there? Hello!
What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing alright. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary and creepy videos, man, on and out, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing. I see you guys in the comments, man. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, we're trying to grow, man, so in order for us to do that, I need you guys to subscribe, hit that like button, hit that post notification, man. That's going to push us in the algorithm, so let's do that. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best. Out here, seekers, seek the truth.
I'm going to be telling you a scary childhood story.
Okay.
When I was 2 years old, my mom passed away. My dad wasn't in the picture, so I went to go live with my grandparents. My grandparents lived in a super old home that was built in the 1800s. I was a very imaginative child. So when I told my grandparents that I used to see people in the house, they just didn't believe me. There was one lady in particular that I would always see. She would sit at the end of my bed and watch me fall asleep. I wasn't scared of her because I thought she was an actual person. Plus, I was super little, so nothing even crossed my mind. At this point, I was like 4 or 5 years old. I remember her talking to me constantly. She even sang me the song Rockabye Baby to get me to go to bed one night.
Ooh.
Every single day when I would get home, I could see her in my window. At that point, I thought she was just waiting for me. She just wanted to be my friend, right? But as I got older, things started to get really weird between me and her. She wasn't this nice lady anymore. Stay tuned for part 2.
What the hell? She was talking to this lady, man, and the parents, they had no idea. Man, see, that's what I said. That's where, you know, like I said, kids, people, well, the adults, man, they think, you know, kids have imaginations when they be telling them their little stories, but little do they know they actually telling the truth, man. But you know, parents, they're like, oh, it's just kids, they're just imagining things, or they're just playing. But no, like, as I said, you gotta, especially nowadays in this world today, you gotta take everything, man. When somebody says something, you have to take it dead seriously. I mean, when it comes from the kids, you just always want to make sure seekers. Trust me, we heard clips about it, man. Just be
This is part
ready.
2 of the lady in my room who would sing me lullabies to get me to go to bed.
Okay.
No one else in my family could see her. She even told me that she was my mom. I really believed her.
Cap.
If you remember, my mom passed away when I was 2. So, I mean, it seemed pretty real that it was my mom. I didn't really remember what my mom's face looked like when she passed away. And this lady, you know, could be my mom. She continued to sing me lullabies every single night when I would go to bed. She would always be waiting for me in the window when I would get home from school. But I figured out pretty quickly it wasn't my mom. My mom was a sweet, kind-hearted person. This spirit was evil. She would get mad at me every single time any of my friends would come over. She told me she could see my future and that I was going to go to hell after I died in a car accident.
What the?
It scared me so much, but no one believed me. It got to the point where I never even wanted to go in the car because I thought I was going to die. She convinced me I was evil. Stay tuned for part 3. This is part 3 of the lady who used to sing me lullabies to get me to go to bed. This spirit was evil, and she started to convince me that I was evil too. She convinced me that I would go to hell because I was a horrible child, even though I wasn't. She convinced me that every single person in my life hated me. She even started to control my dreams, and I'd wake up every single night screaming at the top of my lungs from a night terror, and she would be sitting at the end of my bed. This went on for years. When I turned 9, my grandpa passed away, and because it was a really big house, me and my grandma moved to a different house. And the evil spirit was just gone. I never saw her again. But was she really gone? When I was 15, I went to a psychic. The moment I walked into the room, she could feel a dark energy enter the room. She told me that someone was following me every single step I took. And when she said that, I knew exactly what she was talking about. After that, I went to a medium, and after many sessions with her, the dark presence was finally gone. This is...
Damn. She said she walked into that room, man. They felt, like I said, they felt that dark energy fall on her. I don't know if it was like it said, she said it was just at the house. And it was just trying to follow her around. Like I said, it was a dark spirit trying to trick her, making it seem like it was her mom when she clearly knew it wasn't. Seekers, man, if you feel any dark energy, some just bad vibes, just, I mean, take a piece of advice from this, man. Just leave that area, man. Just leave it. Can't try to follow you around everywhere, man. It's gonna try to drop off. It's a crazy story. You guys have any more theories about that? Was that spirit, or was she just seeing things? Tell me down below.
A Dybbuk. You might recognize it from this video that surfaced in 2018 of Post Malone touching it inside of Zach Bagans' Haunted Museum, and most of us know that didn't end well.
But what is a Dybbuk, and why is it considered the most haunted item in the world? The Dybbuk is a wine box that was purchased in 2001 by an American man at an estate sale in Spain. When the man learned that the item was a family heirloom, he offered to return it to the family, but they insisted that he keep it. The box was purchased by the family's grandmother after the Holocaust had ended, but it sat unopened inside of her sewing room because the grandmother was convinced a Dybbuk was inside of it. Dybbuk is a demon that has the ability to possess different items. When the American man brought the box home, he opened it up, and this is what was inside. Inside the box, there were 2 locks of hair, a single candle holder, 2 pennies from the 1920s, and a small statue with the Hebrew word peace inscribed. Like for part 2.
What the hell? When they offered it to that family, they knew, man, that bad energy, something, they said, keep it away. They's like, nah, you can keep it, man. That should have already been a sign right there. If it's a family heirloom and they just rejected it. And I can't believe it. I said in a Post Malone, he touched or something you see in the video. These celebrities, man, people in power, they be playing, they're playing with things that they, or with bad energy stuff that they have no idea what's it about, man. It's crazy how Post Malone even had access to that. Goes to show you, man, when you had that type of level of fame and power, you can do anything, man. A grave. Put a window on his tomb? That's the first time I've ever heard of anything like that. What? So you can see inside of his grave because he put that window there.
This is why you should always keep pictures of your parents. A little girl named Olivia, who lived a very quiet life, decided to check her homework assignments that were posted online. The teacher posted that they needed to write down their favorite memory with their family, as well as bring a photograph. Olivia then writes about how her and her mom play dolls every night in the basement before bed, and that she has a lot of fun doing so. She finishes her paragraph and then looks in her dad's drawer for a photograph of mom. She only found pictures of her mom from high school, but decided to use it anyway. Olivia goes to bed and wakes up the next morning. Once she arrives at school, the teacher then says, let's start presenting our project. Then the teacher called Olivia's name to present. Olivia then begins to read about how her and her mom play dolls every night, and then pulls out the photograph. As soon as Olivia pulled out the photograph, her teacher's face goes numb. She then asked Olivia if she can take a closer look at the photograph. She then recognized her mom as one of her previous students. Then the teacher asked, where did you get this photo? Olivia says, my dad keeps them in his drawer. The teacher, shocked, sits down Olivia and pulls out an old newspaper. The newspaper headline, local high school teen murdered, boyfriend gone missing. The teacher then looks at Olivia and says, your mom has been dead for 14 years.
What? So who the hell was she living with then? Is the dad involved, man? That's actually a crazy story, man. Well, I have pictures of my parents in my home or something like that. But maybe I need to get some hard copies now. Make sure nothing weird going on. You guys have pictures of your parents on your phone? Or you guys actually have, you know, like the Hard copies, man. That's what I need.
If you ever find yourself in this situation, don't do what she did. It all began in 2005 when a group of cave divers wanted to film a documentary in the most dangerous cave in the world. A few hours into their descent, a huge storm erupted, causing the main entrance to the cave to collapse. In order to avoid the huge falling rocks coming from the ceiling, they were forced to swim through an unexplored part of the cave. After diving for over an hour, they came across an island and decided to set up camp until the rescuers could get to them. After 2 days of being trapped in the cave, the cameraman decided to start filming in case they don't make it out of there. At the same time, one of their crew members does something very stupid.
Tunnels, take your pick. Oh, fuck it. Hello, please. Is there anybody there? Hello?
What the?
If you're ever walking and hear a sound behind you, look up, for it might be the Gashadokuru. The Gashadokuru are skeleton giants who walk around in the middle of the night. If they see a human, they will quietly walk up behind them, bite off their head, and drink their spraying blood.
Damn.
Soldiers that die on the field and people that die of starvation usually do not have their final rites read. In Japanese culture, that means that their soul cannot pass on and they're reborn as a hungry ghost. When the bones of hundreds of those souls gather together, they become the skeleton monster known as Gashadokuru. If you're a fan of monsters, scary stories, and lore, please support this channel. Thank you guys.
Gashadokuru, that look like an Attack on Titan. Y'all know that? What's that?
Scary things kids see for at 14. My 4-year-old son and I were waiting for our food at Panera. While we stood there, he started rubbing my belly and talking to it. I asked him what he was doing. He said he was talking to the baby. I informed him that I was not pregnant, and he said, "There is a baby in your belly. I just saw it crawl across the floor and climb into you." What the fuck? Just today, my 4-year-old son told me, "I think we live in a pretend world and someone is playing with us." I asked him what he meant, and it got even weirder. Well, it seems like someone does things to us, but we can't see them because we are in this world and they are not. My sister described her imaginary friend saying, "He sits on my bed and waits for his mom. He's not allowed to go home by himself because of his arm." I asked what happened to his arm and she said, "His mom ran him over when he was drying with chalk. That's why he's always crying, because he doesn't like being dead." I have had multiple miscarriages. My daughter, "I met your babies that died in my dream. They want you to know you're a good mom."
Those stories are actually like chilling, man. Especially, I think the one that got to me is the second one. He said, you know, some people were doing stuff that can't be seen. He said the world we're living in is not real, man. That's the Matrix theory. That's a deep rabbit hole if you want to go down that bit. On Seekers. What do you guys think? We living in the Matrix. This is all a simulation. I've heard those theories a couple of times. It's kind of, we're gonna have to go down that rabbit hole one day.
5 disturbing videos that you shouldn't watch at night. This will all be done in one part, so keep up. Number 5. According to this video, in 2008, the bodies of 2 17-year-old kids were found dead. They were making a vlog-style video shortly before their death, and when the police recovered the footage, they were shocked. And here's why.
Oh, I can't spill it. Oh, my lap.
Oh, that's very good.
I don't know what it was. I can't remember.
Have you ever seen this song?
Give me the shit so badly. I don't think we should be here. It's like a private road or something. Be uncomfortable. I get to film Molly doing a wee-wee. Right out. Is it really? Yeah, right out. Get back in. What's what? What? What's the matter? What?
Number 4. This video contains 2 nurses cracking jokes with one another when one of them suddenly records a black figure walking past in the camera. They go to check the footage out, but even to this day, the footage is still unknown.
No mames, pasó algo, te lo juro que pasó algo, eh. Vete a la verga.
Number 3. This video is actually a Japanese Kleenex commercial. The commercial was taken off of the air for being too scary. Here's where it gets weird. Everybody featured in this video suddenly passed away from unknown causes. One theory is if you play the video back in reverse, the so-called chosen ones can hear the message. Here's the video.
Fine night tonight. It's going to be a fine day tomorrow.
Kleenex tissue です。
Number 2. This video
Okay.
is titled My Sister. The only thing the description of this video says is she's so silly. This video contains a person wearing women's faces as masks, but the thing is, people say that these so-called masks look a little too real.
Nah.
Number 1. This video is the scariest one of them all. This video was the first real exorcism ever performed on camera. The man in this video apparently was acting out in a violent rage, and his voice would immediately get really deep. It got so bad that he tried to murder the grandkids, and his family said they didn't even recognize him. The demonologists who performed this exorcism are Ed and Lorraine Warren. Those names might sound familiar to you because those are the real people in the Conjuring and Annabelle movies.
Ooh.
If you love this stuff, you will love my YouTube channel. Tomorrow I'm staying in one of the most haunted hotels in the entire world, and I'm going to be capturing it all for you guys. I'm even going to be going on live so you guys can help me capture things. If you guys want to see that, make sure to click that like and make sure to click that follow button because it's going to get crazy. My YouTube is Austin Bro. Make sure to check it out. I love you guys. Have a great rest of your night. Peace out.
Should we check out? We're gonna have to check. Should we check out one of these in that hotel? We could switch up. We could switch up the type of videos we need checking out.
And the exorcism will be the first ever recorded on videotape. A tape that shows Maurice's face changing from this to this as the bishop chanted to cast out the devil. As the video shows, far more was about to change on Theriot's face and its expression. As Bishop McKenna chants, Theriot's skin seems to bubble. A deep crack has opened on his forehead.
What the fuck? That's actually insane, man. We didn't see no footage. I'm gonna have to search deep, man, for these footage for that footage for you guys. We definitely gonna have to check that out, seekers. If you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, we're doing daily uploads, so guys, really hit that like button, man. Subscribe, spread the word about the channel. Follow me on my social medias down below, man. Like I said, you can also send me guys videos so I can check it out and react to. You guys gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Let's keep going. Let's keep going. Striving together. Peace, seekers. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, man, what we do is we break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, man. You're helping us grow the community known as the Seekers. So I really appreciate the support. Let's do that. Let's continue to grow. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best out here. Let's seek the truth.
Why you should never go camping without a weapon.
Okay.
19-year-old Olga Moskaleviova was camping near a river in Russia with her stepfather Igor when a mother bear attacked them. Seconds later, the 500-pound brown bear...
Things humans were never meant to see. A man was struck by lightning, and this is the amazing pattern that it left.
Whoa.
I bet you've never seen this before. This is how a clam walks. It
the hell
sticks
is
out
that?
its body and pushes itself forward. This is what chairlifts looked like in the 60s. There was no safety bar, so you had to be careful not to move at all.
No.
This giant fiery pit looks like it's from another planet, but it actually exists here on Earth, and it has been burning for more than 60 years straight. This is what movie and TV shows look like after special effects are added, and this is what they look like before.
Here's some random facts
Crazy.
that will mess with the way you see the world. Astronaut means star sailor. Astro meaning star and not meaning sailor. That is such a cool name. High heels were originally made for butchers so they wouldn't get blood on the bottom of their shoes. The first ever webcam was created to check on a coffee pot just to make sure it didn't catch on fire. In Switzerland, it's illegal to own just one guinea pig. You need at least 2 or more. I think it's because they get depressed if they're alone. I'm not even joking. Australia is wider than the moon. How does that work? The Eiffel Tower is taller in the summer. This is because metal expands when it gets hot, right? A jiffy is an actual unit of time. It's 1/1000th of a second. In Japan, there's over 200 flavors of Kit Kats.
No.
I didn't know that there were 200 flavors, period. Queen Elizabeth was a trained mechanic in the military. That's a baller move, though. Become a mechanic and then a queen. Like, do you know the only letter that doesn't appear in a U.S. state name? I'll give you like 3 seconds. Ready? 3,
what is it?
2, 1. The letter Q. These are the most rare.
Whoa, what the heck? He is now he's spitting. There's nothing in Q that has the US state something in that name. Or whatever he said, bro. It's crazy to think about, man. These facts, man. Y'all gotta tap in with us, man. We learn the new real facts every day.
People to ever exist. Up first is Samson Burns. He's had a genetic disease since birth, which makes him look a lot older than he is.
Oh.
And people who have this disease, their life expectancy is only 15 years. Samson Burns was known for his motivational speeches and his amazing fight with the disease. He lived until he was 17, which baffled people because the life expectancy for this disease was only 15 years.
Define the
Up
odds.
next is Paul Carrison. Paul Carrison was known worldwide for his bluish skin, which was caused by a disease which changes the color of the skin and the organs.
Whoa.
But he sadly passed away a few years ago for reasons unrelated to his illness.
What do you guys think happened? I need your theories down
Do
below.
you guys remember the case of Lacey Fletcher, the woman who melted into her couch? Well, the people responsible for this have been sentenced. But let me remind you guys a little bit about 36-year-old Lacey. In 2022, she was found deceased on her family's couch, and apparently she sat there for 12 years without moving. So how exactly does that happen? Well, Lacey had severe autism and she was nonverbal, so she solely depended on her parents as her caregiver. But after years of neglect, she weighed less than 100 pounds. She was found covered in maggots at her own waist. And again, this is how the couch looked like when they found Lacey deceased. Lacey's cause of death was acute medical neglect, and ultimately her parents, Sheila and Clay Fletcher, were each sentenced this month to 40 years, but will only be serving 20 years in prison. Now, what's outrageous is that her parents, who went from this to this, testified that their daughter refused any medical attention. How can someone who couldn't communicate and completely relied on them refuse medical attention? A 36-year-old weighing less than 100 pounds. Let that sink in. This tragedy could have been prevented. There is no excuse.
There isn't. It says she refused medical attention. Think. Use your brain. Think. She can communicate non-verbally. People have to be better,
Common
man.
things you never knew the real purpose of. Part 7. First off, you know that drawer underneath your oven where most people put their pots and pans?
Yeah.
Well, the real reason that it's there is, for example, if you're having guests over and they're late, you can put your food in there and it'll keep it warm. If you've ever been confused on how much pasta you should cook for just yourself to eat, well, that hole in the middle of a spaghetti spoon isn't actually for draining water. It's for putting uncooked pasta through it so you get the perfect serving for one person. Have you ever wondered why there's a little button on your seatbelt? It's actually to stop the buckle from going past it. So it'll always be in the right spot when you go to buckle it up. Those little buttons on your jeans aren't totally useless. They're called rivets. Rivets are placed in areas on jeans that receive the most wear and tear stress. So they actually help you prevent your jeans from ripping apart at the seams. Many people think this dot on the back of an iPhone is for flash, but it's actually a microphone used for recording when using the back camera. The tags on bread packages come in 5 different colors, representing 5 of the 7 different days of the week. And here's what each one equates to. And the reason they don't have Wednesday or Sunday is because most shops don't get deliveries on these days. And the hole on the bottom of a lock isn't actually to pick it. It's meant to drain any captured liquid to prevent it from rusting.
Normal looking video.
Man. The thing about the bread one is interesting, man, because they've always had, sometimes I've been saying, like, why do they have, like, different colors, the little tags that hold the bread together? So I'm guessing, I thought this was to show the freshness of it, but I guess it's just to organize it. The more you know, man. The more you know.
Those with disturbing backstories, part 1. In this home video on Thanksgiving Day 1990 is a father recording his son Jeffrey, who can be seen talking to his father and flipping through a magazine.
Well, I've been surviving mostly on McDonald's food. It's just so much easier just to pop into a restaurant. But yeah,
Don't tell me that's what I think it is.
Need to have to start eating at home more.
But what nobody knew at the time is the man in the video, Jeffrey Dahmer, had already unalived 7 of his victims and later became one of the biggest serial killers in history.
Ooh. You never know who you talking to, man.
Crazy facts about things in our world. Mohammed is the most popular name worldwide. A teaspoon of a neutron star weighs 10 million tons.
Damn.
The Great Wall of China takes 18 months to walk.
That's
the
cap.
human body is made up of 60% water.
18 months to walk the Great Wall in China? I gotta look that up, man. I'm calling cap on that one. I don't believe that, man. That's cap. That's cap, bro. In the words of Soldier Boy, that's cap.
Alright guys, let's talk about Slenderman. Slenderman is a 7-foot tall humanoid creature that has no face and is known for kidnapping children and brainwashing older people into being his little servants. He's mainly found out in the woods and you'll rarely ever see him outside of the woods. He's also known to be around kids' playgrounds, lurking in the woods, just waiting for them. If one of them happens to wander off into the woods, he snatches them up and they're never seen again. What's very disturbing about Slenderman is he will target his victims for years and drive them to insanity with paranoia. One way to know if he's nearby is if your electronic devices are having malfunctions. For example, if your phone turns off randomly or if the radio station's giving a lot of static. Back to the stalking though, you can see him right here in the background waiting for those kids. Some of them are even around him, and you can see all of his other arms coming out from behind him. Usually when he grabs the victim, he will vanish with them very quickly and you'll find them impaled on a tree with all of their organs missing. And to this day, nobody knows what he truly does with his victims or the organs.
Isn't Slenderman based off the video game though, so... That's like
Imagine finding out that the pastor from your church did this. On August 1975, 8-year-old Gretchen Harrington was walking to Bible study in Pennsylvania, but she never made it. Gretchen's father became extremely worried when she was nowhere to be found. And that's when Pastor David Zantra called police to report Gretchen missing. When investigators interviewed the pastor, he was providing details of what Gretchen was wearing that day, even though she never made it to the church.
Weird.
So how did he know? The pastor denied knowing anything about Gretchen's disappearance, and 2 months later, her skeletal remains were found at a nearby creek. Gretchen's cause of death was blunt force trauma to the head. But 50 years later, on January of this year, police interviewed a woman who was friends with the pastor's daughter in the 70s and discovered something from her diary entry around that time. The little girl at the time explains in her diary that the pastor used to touch her when she slept over his daughter's house. The pastor, who is now 83 years old, moved to Georgia after Gretchen's murder, and when police came to arrest him, he admitted to everything. He said that on that morning of 1975, he saw Gretchen walking to Bible study, so he offered to give her a ride, but instead of taking her to the church, he took her to a wooded area and told her to take off her clothes, and when she said no, that's when he took her life.
Maybe this is a pastor too. That's just sick, man. These TikToks are exposing our reality wide open. But it took them like 50 years, and it goes to show you, man, justice will be served no matter the time. Maybe 1, 2, 3 years, 50 years, 60 years. It'll come out to get you, man, in the end. Karma's a real thing. Goes around, comes around.
This is maybe the scariest urban legend I've ever heard, and it ended up being true. Back in the 1970s, there was this terrifying fun house in Long Beach, California called The Laugh in the Dark. And there was always this urban legend that all the mannequins inside were fake, except for one. Also, mind you, this is what this week's episode is about, so if you don't want spoilers, just listen to the episode. This urban legend came to be because there was one mannequin inside that just looked wrong. All the other ones looked fake, but this one in particular looked way too human. And a bunch of the kids also said the area that the mannequin was in just smelled really, really bad.
No way, that's
years
real.
go by, and one day a film crew comes in and is using Laugh in the Dark for a film set. The director's lining up a shot, and he just doesn't like the way this one mannequin looks in frame. So he goes over to a crew member and he's like, hey, can you just move this out of the shot? So the crew member goes over and starts moving the mannequin when its arm pops off. And inside of the mannequin's arm is human bone.
What
the
the?
kids had been totally right. The mannequin was a mummified body. There's so much more to this story, like who the person was and how they got there, and I talk about the whole thing this week on the episode.
Scary
Gotta
facts
follow up on that
ruin
one.
your day. Do you ever wake up around 3 a.m. for no apparent reason?
Sometimes.
They say that if you wake up around 2 to 3 a.m. for no reason, that there's a 90% chance something was staring at you.
No way.
I was tagged in this and people want to know if it's true or false. This is false, this is rubbish. But let me give you a fact, yeah? The Prophet Muhammad ﷺ said, whoever wakes up at night, suddenly wakes up at 2, 3, 4 o'clock in the morning, he should say this dua, La ilaha illallah wahdahu la sharika lah, lahul mulku wa lahul hamdu wa huwa ala kulli shay'in qadir. To all this dua here, you can do a screenshot so you can know what to say. You can say it in English or Arabic, yeah? Whoever does that, Allah will forgive his sins. And the Prophet ﷺ in another narration said, if he says this dua and does wudu and prays to Allah, Allah will accept his prayer. In other words, your dua is accepted, everything is accepted. Allah woke you up at that time for a reason. Allahu Akbar. Take a return, David.
So you pray when you wake up at 2, 3 in the morning?
Mysteries that still can't be explained. This is a lost Egyptian city found by divers in the early 2000s. They were able to retrieve giant statues and artifacts from it. But until this day, scientists have no idea how the city ended up in the middle of the ocean.
The Atlantis?
And this is the plain of jars located in Laos. And like the name suggests, there's around a few thousand jars in the ground. Each of them are around 10 feet tall. And scientists have found no real purpose for it. What do you guys think they were used for?
Underground city, man? That sounds like Atlantis to me. Hey.
This 6-year-old boy was forced by his father to run on a treadmill, then he passed away. On April 2nd, 2021, 6-year-old Corey Mitchell was taken to the hospital by his father, 31-year-old Christopher Greger, after he began experiencing shortness of breath and nausea. Corey was immediately taken for a CT scan where he began having seizures and passed away shortly after. Then, disturbing surveillance footage from Christopher's apartment gym was found, which I'm going to warn you, it's really hard to watch. Corey is seen being forced by his father to run on this treadmill at a really high speed. Then you see Corey fall 6 times on his face, and Christopher picks him up by the shirt and puts him back on the treadmill. And then at one point, Christopher is also seen biting Corey's head. Almost 2 weeks after this incident, Corey passed away, and the autopsy showed that this little boy had various injuries on his chest, abdomen, heart, and liver, showing that he was being abused for some time. Corey's mother, who shared joint custody with Christopher, also reported the abuse more than 100 times in 18 months, but nothing was done. Then investigators found a handful of suspicious Google searches on Christopher's phone about bruises, his car being tracked, and being arrested. Christopher is currently being held without bond, and if convicted, he faces life in prison.
The mom was doing her job, reported over 100 times, and nothing happened, man. The system is up and down. We need to find a healthy medium, man. That's just insane.
Let's talk about Jeff the Killer. By the way, this is a creepypasta. He was a 13-year-old boy who had just moved to a new town with his mother and father. And he was already being bullied a lot in horrible ways that I can't even say on this video. One day at a party, the bullying got a little too out of hand. They disfigured him, lighting him on fire and throwing bleach on his face. He woke up in the hospital with his head wrapped in bandages. His eyelids were burnt off. When he took off the bandages, he noticed his face was all leathery and pale. He started laughing uncontrollably, and doctors just played it off as, oh, maybe it's the medicine we gave him, making him a little loopy. He started saying he loved his new face, and he eventually carved a permanent smile in his mouth, because mentally he was broken. He was no longer that nice little 13-year-old boy. That's when he decided to get revenge on the bullies, taking them out one by one.
Sound like the Joker origins, bro. What the hell is that?
This watermelon's good. He even took his family's life. What did they do to you, bro? What did they do? Now it's stated that he comes after anyone who stays up late. This was the last photo someone took of him before he got them. This picture is supposedly cursed.
Leatherface, man. You believe in that? Gotta check that out.
Have you guys heard of the man who murdered his co-worker in the Walgreens break room? On June 11th, 2022, 28-year-old Joshua Johnson murdered his co-worker, 17-year-old Riley Whitelaw, in a Walgreens employee break room in Colorado. Riley was discovered in a pool of blood by her manager after she never returned from her break. Joshua attempted to make advances on Riley in the past, and she repeatedly told managers that he made her feel uncomfortable. Riley even asked her managers to change her work shift so she can avoid Joshua, But when she requested additional hours, she was made aware that overtime would mean that her and Joshua may cross paths.
Damn.
3 months before her murder, Riley's boyfriend began working at the same Walgreens, which apparently made Joshua jealous. On the day that Riley was attacked, a customer heard a woman screaming and the sound of very loud slamming. Surveillance footage also caught Joshua stacking bins in front of the camera so that it could block the view before attacking Riley. He was then found by police walking on the street with scratches all over his body.
Crazy, man. Just because she was turning him down. People can't
If
take
you're
no.
alone right now, don't watch this video. In the winter of 2018, a man who was living alone in the mountains wakes up to find a red ball sitting on his front yard. He assumed the only neighbor he had must have kids, and so he kicks the ball over the fence, goes inside, doesn't think anything of it. That night, he wakes up to the sound of kids laughing outside of his window. He goes outside to check on them because it's the middle of the night, and there's no kids anywhere, but that red ball is back on his property. So he picks it up, brings it in his house, and goes back to bed. The next morning, he goes over to his neighbor's house to let them know that their kids were out in his yard in the middle of the night. But it turns out his neighbor is just some old man who lives alone, and there aren't any kids anywhere in the area. That night, he wakes up again to the sound of kids on his property, and when he looks outside, there's no kids, but that red ball is back on his property. Panicked, he runs downstairs to make sure the one he brought in is still inside, and it's gone. He checked every window and door, and everything was still locked. It didn't make any sense. He decides to look out the window one more time, and off in the distance is some weird, stiff figure watching him.
Haunting story, man. How the hell that red ball
These
leave?
are videos you can never watch at night. We all know how there's some videos where you just can't watch them at night because they're that scary. Well, in this series, I'll be showing you all of those videos. So be ready to get terrified.
Who are you? Please let me in. Huh? Please let me. What? What's wrong with you?
That's an edit.
What? It took my
Well, I know I'm not sleeping after watching that video. This video has been going viral recently, and
Really?
nobody knows the origins of it. It shows what appears to be a ghostly woman standing outside of some man's window at night, and she says something took her daughter and did this to her. But nobody knows what that is. The man who uploaded the video hasn't updated anybody on if he's seen her again, or if he's okay, leaving people to worry about him. But I can't imagine looking out my window at night and seeing this.
If you're ever walking
Edit
and
on
you hear a
that
sound
one.
behind you, look up, for it might be the Gashadokuru. The Gashadokuru are skeleton giants who walk around in the middle of the night. If they see a human, they will quietly walk up behind them, bite off their head, and drink their spraying blood. Soldiers that die on the field and people that die of starvation usually do not have their final rites read. In Japanese culture, that means that their soul cannot pass on and they're reborn as a hungry ghost. When the bones of hundreds of those souls gather together, they become the skeleton monster known as Gashadokuru. If you're a fan of monsters, scary stories, and lore, please support this channel.
It looks like Attack on Titan. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the anime? The Titans?
This photo is of the Cincinnati crawler. It was taken by a family who caught him in their home in 1974, but he escaped shortly afterwards.
In a damn house?
The Johnson family in Cincinnati noticed a couple weird things happening in their home. The 14-year-old daughter, Claire, would complain about seeing glowing eyes outside of her window at night. And then one night, the youngest son, Timmy, was laying in bed in the dark when he felt the family dog jump up onto his bed.
Okay.
But when he went to go pet it, it was not the dog.
No
It was
way.
the crawler, who police still believe was responsible for the disappearance of 4 other boys in the area.
What the
Some believe that he was an escaped convict, while others actually believe that he was the victim of human experiments happening in the area that may have been conducted by the family's dad.
Say that again?
Claire snapped this photo of him before he escaped, but he was never found since.
Can you guys imagine, man? You at your house. You feel thinking it's your dog, but it's like a whole human being that's in your damn house, and you had no idea. I ain't gonna lie, man. I'm packing my bags. We moving out the next day. Deuces. I ain't gonna lie. Sell the house. We out. I can't do that. My privacy has already been violated, man. A whole nother human being's in your house, and you had no idea. I can't do that, man. I'm out. What would you guys do, Seekers? We moving out the next day. Simple. No other option, man. I can't do that. Make me the heebie-jeebies, bro.
The darkest YouTube cults of all time. This cult is called Blood Over Intent, and this is how I snuck in. By the way, I'm going back to blonde hair. First, let's go over what happened.
What?
I began searching the internet for Discord servers that had this cult inside of them. Came across some small ones and joined, expecting nothing to happen. A couple hours later, I get a message from a grandmaster occultist. He didn't ask me if I want to be a part of the cult or if I'm just investigating it. I then say looking to join somehow. He then continues to warn me about the dangers of blood magic. Here's where things become interesting.
Whoa.
He says blood over intent is a real thing. The problem with it is what it costs. By using your own blood, you agree to lose everything you care about. I was 9 years old when I did it my first and last time. What I cared most about were my pets. Not one of them survived. One even died from worms blowing out her belly. I then asked him if his spells have ever harmed humans. He then goes on to say, my spell at 9 years old decimated a family. This is definitely creepy, but like and follow, and I'm going to try and sneak into some more cults.
This homeless...
There's some damn TikTok cults going on. I never even knew that was a thing. I mean, not TikTok, Discord. I know Discord, you can go down a dark rabbit hole, but I didn't think it could be that dark. That's actually insane, man. And he went undercover.
Previously owned by Britney Spears.
He's brave.
On a recent podcast called We Need to Talk About Britney, Britney's former makeup artist joined the conversation. She said that while Britney was living in this home, she had some type of spiritual transformation, and she invited someone over who claimed to be a spiritual healer. But after the healer left, something didn't feel right to her. Britney said she thought the healer had opened some type of portal, and she claimed that there were evil spirits in her house trying to push her down the stairs. The situation must have scared her pretty badly because she left the home immediately when it happened and never returned. She then sold the house with everything inside to Brittany Murphy. And as many of you probably already know, Brittany Murphy died in that house under very suspicious circumstances. And her husband died 5 months after her in the same room that Brittany died in. Take a listen.
It was so bad that she left. She went to the Casa Del Mar Hotel to stay there and never went back to the house again. She put her house on the market, and guess who bought that house? Who? And died in it. Brittany Murphy.
She definitely was feeling some of that energy.
This is a photo of Mike Tyson
crazy.
shaking hands with Dale Hausner, a known serial killer in Phoenix, Arizona who killed 8 people.
What?
Mike Tyson did not know that at the time. He thought he was a sports writer. Police then showed up to Mike's gym and let him know you just shook hands with a serial killer. Mike Tyson had literally no idea. The murders Hausner committed happened from May 2005 all the way up to August 2006. They were described as playing real-life Grand Theft Auto. They would shoot at random pedestrians just walking by and animals, and they would also just set random things on fire and burn it down.
What the
This man committed 80 felonies. I think there are only like 88 possible felonies you can get. This dude almost hit 100% completion.
Racking them up.
Now this photo behind me was taken just a few days before Hausner was caught. Then when Mike Tyson was interviewed by the police about Hausner, he was like, yeah, seems like a nice guy, smaller stature, completely oblivious to the fact that he murdered 8 people. Super scary to think that people were just walking randomly in the street and getting shot by this guy right here. Glad that's over. Glad he's caught. Let me know what you guys think about this in the comment section below. And as always, these videos are for informational purposes only.
Man, real life is not GTA. You just can't go down, walking down the street and just take random people out. What's the damn world come to, man? That's actually insane. If it was GTA, man, you would have freaking 5 stars on, bro. That's a crazy ass story. Seekers, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're true seekers seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man. Also, hit that post notification bell, man, so we can get this algorithm, we can grow. Also, man, follow me on my social medias down below, man. Trying to get my numbers up there as well. We can connect together and grow our community, and that's how you can stay in contact with me. So follow me on my Instagram, Twitter, Facebook, Twitch, Snapchat, all the socials will be down below. Tell me, man, like I said, you guys are liking my new reacting style, man. Also, tell me what I can do to make these videos better for you guys. I'm out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, Seekers? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully, you guys are doing alright, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do. We break down scary, creepy videos, man, on the net, on the web, man. From YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG Reels, Facebook, man. Anything weird, usual, and unexplained, you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank the supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, hitting that subscribe button, man, hitting that post notification bell, man. You're helping us grow in the algorithm, man, helping us find other seekers. I really appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today, man. So let's take a look. Let's explore. Let's do what we do best, man. Seek the truth.
I teach you 4 ways that you can hack your body.
Okay.
Number 1, if your arms ever fall asleep, just shake your head like this and it will go away like nothing. Number 2, if you really have to go to the bathroom but there's no place to go, just scratch the back of your calf as hard as you can. This will actually stall your brain and you will forget you ever had to go.
Whoa.
Number 3, if you ever have trouble falling asleep, just blink your eyes as fast as you can for 1 minute. This will tire out your eyes and make it easier for you to fall asleep. Number 4, if you ever want to activate night vision, go on your phone in a dark room and cover your eye for 30 seconds. Then look around and enjoy being Superman.
People are freaking out after 9 pillars of light were seen in the sky above a coastal town in Japan recently. And it wasn't just one picture. These 9 lights were seen from multiple different angles. So, what the hell is that? Well, the man who originally posted the photo said that it's actually a rare natural phenomenon called fishing firelight pillars. And he said that it's caused by powerful lights placed on fishing boats to attract larger catches. As temperatures cool overnight, crystals sometimes form in the air, and then the boat's lights reflect off of the crystals, creating this. So just as simple as aliens, is it?
This man followed a teen and her grandmother who were on a trail, and then he took their lives. In 2021, a 17-year-old Hera and her grandmother, 78-year-old Sanetta, were found deceased in their home in Largo, Florida. Earlier that day, Hera and her grandmother went on a walk on the Pinellas Trail not too far from their house. On their way home, 19-year-old Sage Curry followed them to their house. He waited for the sun to go down before entering their home through the bedroom window. Sage then went into the kitchen and looked for the sharpest knife he could find and used that to attack the grandmother as she slept. Hera ran into the room after hearing her grandmother scream, and she was also stabbed to death. What's insane is that there was no relationship between the victims and Sage. He literally did this for absolutely no reason. His family said that his mental health declined after his 18th birthday and he became delusional, so much that he couldn't tell fiction from reality and believe that TV shows he watched were real. While he sat in jail, he got this moon tattooed on his forehead, which referenced a TV show character who had DID. Sage also got one of the victims' names tattooed on his ankle. In court, he really tried to use the insanity defense, but that was rejected. Sage was sentenced to life in prison without the possibility of parole.
Just sense this. Seekers, man, we believe in vampires. They had some gear. The mummified vampire face. I don't know if that's edited or something like that, but looks pretty kind of legit to me. Vampires. That's what about if we get top fears, man? Hate vampires. They just weird me out. Should we deep dive into that one? Who knows?
Disturbing facts that will ruin your life. When whales reach a certain age, they will eventually be too weak to swim back to the surface for air, so they will just suffocate to death and eventually sink to the bottom of the ocean.
Whoa.
When you die, you will be aware that you were dead until the moment your brain fully ceases function. When getting laser eye surgery, you can smell the parts of your eyes being shaved down. During the French Revolution, where the guillotine was introduced, the people to be executed fought to be first, as the blade would dull after multiple uses, and wouldn't cut a head clean off at the first attempt. If you're male, after you die, your loved ones can have a doctor electrocute your prostate to force you to ejaculate for sperm. Humans have enough bite power to bite off their own finger, bone and all. The only thing stopping us is our brain's natural safety factor. A deceased human body can take between 24 to 48 hours to decompress, releasing the remaining blood, urine, and fecal matter, depending on the situation, position, and method of death. If you die on a submarine, they put your body in the fridge with all the food. If not, up a torpedo tube. It's actually common that corpses will periodically burp, fart, gasp, groan as gases escape to the mouth and anus. When you get burned by electricity, it actually leaves marks shaped like lightning on your skin. Hit the plus sign if you want to learn more facts.
The more you know. I learned some new information today. Definitely. It's crazy, especially about that one when you're on the submarine. Don't eat the food on the sub. You don't know where it's been at. We getting some quick cases, they ain't even coming up.
Tips that could save your life one day. When you go into a bathroom or changing room, make sure no one's looking at you using a two-way mirror.
Whoa.
A two-way mirror means that someone on the other side could be looking at you. But there's an easy way to tell the difference. Put your finger on the surface of the mirror. If there's a gap between your finger and its reflection, then you're safe. But if there isn't, then it's a two-way mirror. If you're in an emergency and need to get to one floor straight away without any stops in an elevator, here's what to do. Press the closed door button and the floor you want to go to. Keep holding them down until you reach that floor. This will bypass any stops, and it's often used by emergency services. What if you're driving a car and suddenly you fall into water? You won't be able to open your car's door because of the water pressure closing it shut. You actually need to roll down your window. This will allow some water to go into the car. The pressure will then equalize and the doors will open automatically and you can swim out.
I never knew about the elevator
There
fact.
used to be a nearly 20-foot bulletproof serial killer whose victims included humans and hippos. Gustav was a Nile crocodile from Burundi, and scientists estimated that he was over 18 feet long and weighed well over 2,000 pounds. And with a bite force of 3,700 pounds, getting attacked by him was like getting assaulted by a sledgehammer with teeth. Because Gustav was too big to hunt the usual victims like zebra and antelope, he instead put wildebeest and, yes, even hippos on t-shirts. He also likely resorted to cannibalism if he was ever low on groceries. And he didn't stop there, because this overgrown Bundy gecko allegedly had a body count of about 300 people. And apparently Gustav would tear his victim to pieces and not even eat the mutilated corpse. Bro was real life stat padding. And wouldn't you know, the bastard was bulletproof, since one of Gustav's defining traits was that he had 3 bullet scars on his body. But the scariest thing about him is how he would have gone about taking your life. Like all crocodiles and alligators, Gustav would have slowly creeped on you in the water with only his eyes visible. The rest of his body would be hidden in the murky water. Then he would have slammed his jaws on you with the force of a car, strong enough to tear muscle and break bone, and at this point you'd be 50 shades of... With about 60 teeth buried into your flesh, 2,000-pound Gustav would have dragged you underwater and death rolled you, and how long you lived would depend on where he got you. If he managed to get a hold of your arm, he would have effectively ripped it right out of the socket. If he got your midsection, he would have disemboweled you, meaning if you didn't straight up drown, you would have bled out. If you messed around and let him grab your neck, he would have barrel rolled your head off. Remember how I said he turned 300 people into hashtags? Considering how violently crocodiles kill their prey, it could be more, we just haven't found the bodies yet. Scientist Patrice Faye spent months trying to capture him, but somehow a nearly 20-foot assault weapon managed to avoid them every time. Gustav allegedly died in 2019, but we don't know how, why, or who did it, and we don't know how many lives he took with him.
That's a damn dinosaur. That ain't no crocodile. It's crazy how they can grow to that size. I saw another one on Twitter, and it was even like bigger than that one. What's going on in nature, man? Something going on.
Oh, you're so traumatized. It makes me want to...
What haunted?
Things that are way bigger than you think. Part 3. This is a human hand compared to an eagle's talon. To put that into perspective, they can probably pawn the whole face. This is what the world's tallest man ever would look like standing next to Shaq. Shaq is 7 feet 2 inches tall, and the world's tallest man ever was 8 feet 11. That red line is where the average American would be. Moose are a lot bigger than you think. Some of them can grow to be almost 8 feet tall off the ground. And finally, this is how big a traffic light is. I don't know what you're gonna do with this knowledge, but if you learn something, leave a like and maybe even a follow.
It really goes to show you, man, how I guess proportions really work, or how distance really affects us, man. Because especially about the red, you know, the red, white, yellow, the red, yellow, and green stoplight. So looking at it from afar, you would think that it's actually small, but go close, it takes up like half our size, man. It goes to show you about how distance, how it changes things. I just find that interesting.
The video I'm about to show you is a reason why you should never go camping.
What the fuck is that?
Oh, hell no.
Guys, wait!
What the Oh, he out.
What do you think that is? Do you believe that it's a skinwalker? Or maybe it's the rake? Let me know in the comments below. Also, check me out on YouTube for more spooky crap. Link in bio.
What's the rake?
Let's talk about skinwalkers. They are said to be powerful witches and medicine men. They can even change their form to any animal they desire, including humans. But they mainly change into deer, wolves, and coyotes. The scary part is they say if you see one, they can steal your face and even your last scream for help. You might think this is like a folklore or tale. People actually believe these are real. The scary part is there's actual videos of people seeing oddly walking humans screaming help in the middle of nowhere.
Oh.
See, they say Skinwalkers pretend to be humans in distress, and if they're calling out for help, they're just trying to lure you in. That's when they take your life and use your voice and your look to catch their next gullible victim. A man's wife wasn't even home, but yet somebody was calling him to come downstairs in his wife's voice.
Oh, no, I'm out that house. Deuces. We out. I can't lay there no more. Not an option.
If you want me to go out in the middle of the field, at least shapeshift and look like Rihanna or Beyonce. I'm making a mess, but this look good. I'll be there in a minute. 30 seconds flat. Naked. Very naked. Maybe even Lizzo. Let's light this candle.
Most disturbing websites in the world. This picture contains a list of disturbing websites from the least scary to the most. View at your own risk. Today we're going to be starting from tier 4 since the other ones I posted got removed. The first website is theblackvault.com. This website contains 2 million unreleased documents from the government. The creepiest part about it is there's an entire section dedicated to the supernatural. For example, while I was browsing, I found an article related to skinwalkers. And many people who posted this photo mysteriously had their post taken down. Another website is called kekma.net. You guys didn't trust me last time, but do not look this up. I'm only talking about this one because it's on the list. Make sure to like and follow for tier 5 tomorrow because tomorrow is where it gets real.
Those tier lists, man. Where they say they found us some info where it has the UFOs and stuff like that. I don't know if I should check that out or not, but it's kind of crazy how all those sites that was on there. He said there was some more that even got banned, so we don't know where those was gonna lead to. You guys gonna check out those site seekers? Found out some info? I don't know. He said he did. I guess you gotta be careful going on those sites. You're going down a dangerous rabbit hole.
Hello, my
Giants?
Friend. The sword you showed was the sword of Wallace. And as the name suggests, it belonged to William Wallace, a Scottish knight from the 13th century. The length of the sword is 5'4", suggesting either that William himself was over 6'5", or the sword was not meant to be used on horseback, but rather on foot against cavalries, or it simply wasn't actually his sword. As for those giant remains, I don't think I need to explain this, but it's Photoshop. The creator of this image is called Miss Presto or something like that online, so you can find more of their work.
He's debunking those joints
I
for
didn't
us.
ask for this, so I think that it's time to show who I am now.
December 23rd, 2022, one day before her birthday, 22-year-old Jacqueline Durand was approaching the house she had been hired to dog sit at. She wasn't taking classes at the University of Texas in Dallas. A sign the homeowners had above the entrance would give an ominous warning, one that would go unnoticed. And so Jacqueline walked right into what would become a living nightmare. Immediately after entering the front glass door, and before she could even close the actual second front door, the two dogs in the home, a German Shepherd named Lucy and a Pit Bull named Bender, rushed directly towards Jacqueline, violently bringing her down to the ground, causing her to drop her cell phone, and then dragged her from the front door all the way into the kitchen. At this point, the two large dogs pinned her down and mauled her face, ripping off her ears, nose, cheeks, and lips to the bone. These dogs were actually so violent and bloodthirsty that they ripped apart and tore off all the articles of clothing that Jacqueline was wearing. Now, fortunately, because Jacqueline was not able to actually close that second front door, it triggered a home security alarm. And so eventually, local police showed up to the property as seen in this footage.
I see her feet right there.
First responder body camera video shows the two dogs who attacked her, holding the police at bay.
Once police made their way inside, Jacqueline was ultimately rushed to a nearby hospital and underwent multiple operations. The first one, which was an emergency surgery, lasted 7 hours, and she had to be resuscitated on the operation table multiple times. Now, the couple that owned these two dogs, Ashley Joe Bishop and Avery Bishop, offered no help and no financial assistance to her whatsoever. Since this incident, Jacqueline acquired a lawyer, and this couple has been served a lawsuit. Also, the two dogs involved in this attack were ultimately ordered by a judge to be euthanized. Jacqueline says to the public she does not want to be seen as a victim and only an example to other dog owners to know your dogs, take more precaution, and just be careful.
Okay, so I've been...
Man, that case is chilling. Like, they were freaking like you said, those dogs were freaking bloodthirsty, man. And I don't know what the heck they were training those dogs to do or something like that, but that's crazy that those dogs were acting like that, man. Look what happened. Man. Bones in the case.
On an Alexi Treviso kick lately because her trial is on August 26th, which is pretty much right around the corner, so we got to get her trending again. Before I go further, I want to say that if you're not seeing my face in this video, you're not watching it from my page. Unfortunately, there are a lot of fake accounts that have been stealing my audio and putting it with their own videos. So anyway, let's get into it. This Facebook belongs to Rosa Rodriguez, who is Alexi's mother. She posted on April 10th of this year, balloon release for my beloved baby Alex with a peace dove. And it looks like that balloon there is also in the shape of a dove. Now, just like with everything else regarding this family, I don't understand this at all. Like, Rosa, your beloved grandson, baby Alex, would most likely still be alive if your daughter hadn't put him in a trash can and not asked a single person for help. Or you. The couple times you were outside that bathroom door checking on her, she easily could have said, "Hey, Mom, I'm in here having a baby. Can you come help me because I don't know what to do?" She literally tried to hide him from everybody, including you. And yes, there have been inconsistencies from the hospital staff in their statements, but the fact still remains that she went into the bathroom alone, she birthed the baby alone by her own choice, and she didn't ask a single person for help. She didn't pull that cord, she didn't ask you, nobody. And then she came out of that bathroom and didn't say a single word about it. And there's a good chance that had she asked for help, he might still be alive, and he'd be about 1.5 years old, running around your yard, blowing bubbles, and doing all the fun things that little toddlers do. But hey, y'all continue to support Alexi while acting heartbroken over the loss of your beloved baby Alex, because that makes sense.
Did you see this guy who went missing for filming a TikTok of this like mountain, and in the distance on top of the mountain you see this giant, like this huge creature walking on top of it? This is a real story. Yeah, it's real.
What?
So in this video, this guy named Luke Nichols was actually just driving on the road, and in the distance he sees this giant creature walking on top of the mountain. Like, it's huge, you could tell. And after he caught the giant, he went back 3 days later to the same location to see if he was there, and the giant was gone, showing that it was actually real, and it wasn't like some kind of structure or like a tree. There was actually someone there. So whatever this is, it must have moved. Yeah, and what's really scary is that people that live in the town have also said they've seen the giant, and they actually found in some caves in the area these drawings of the giant. There's drawings? Yeah, so Luke Nichols started trying to find this giant, and when he went back to the area, he saw a UFO in the sky, and he started filming it. But when he wanted to get closer to the UFO, all of a sudden this car started following him, and then he started making videos about how the CIA is trying to follow him. And what? Yeah, so he found something. That either he wasn't supposed to see, he was just making it up. I don't know. Dude, that's scary.
Believe that? You say you saw something and the CIA was following him? That wouldn't be the first time we heard something like that. So we gotta keep an open mind.
Scary Videos Part 9. Friends start playing with a Ouija board when all of a sudden this happens.
Oh my god! It's all the
What the fuck?
Can you see the shadow? The shadow of your hands? Of my hands? Can you see the shadow? Look at that juicy chicken. A man's finger gets pulled back by something while he's holding a cat.
Hmm?
This video from March 2016 exposes
Magic?
Diddy beating up his ex-girlfriend Cassie, and after it became public, he's now apologizing.
It's so difficult to reflect on the darkest times in your life. Sometimes you gotta do that. I was fucked up. I mean, I hit rock bottom. But I make no excuses. My behavior on that video is inexcusable. I take full responsibility for my actions in that video. I'm disgusted. I was disgusted then when I did it, I'm disgusted now. I went and I sought out professional help. I had to go into therapy, go into rehab. I had to ask God for His mercy and grace. I'm so sorry. But I'm committed to be a better man each and every day. I'm not asking for forgiveness. I'm truly sorry.
This video shows Cassie trying to leave a hotel room that they were staying at in LA after Diddy punched her in the face, giving her a black eye. When Cassie was almost at the elevator, Diddy noticed and went after her and attacked her. And let's not forget that before this video became public, Cassie and a few other women accused Diddy of abuse, but he denied everything and said that these women were only looking to get paid out. Now, the crazy part about this is that despite having this video as evidence, at this point, Diddy cannot be charged with any of this. The DA explained that their hands are tied due to the statute of limitations, meaning that since this attack happened in 2016, that was a long time ago, and legally, they can't prosecute Diddy.
The infamous...
That Diddy and Cassie case that's going on right now. Well, yeah, that's going on with Diddy is crazy, man. Like, the evidence came out 4K. I remember when... I guess when Cassie and then came out, how people, at first, you know, they wanted hard evidence to come out. Now that it's out, man, it was a domino effect. LeBron James unfollowed him, Steph Curry unfollowed him. It seemed like all the higher ups, man, I guess they like staying away from him now because he got caught, man. The evidence is in hand. People weren't believing Cassie, but now they did. But now they are. Goes to show you, man, and there's more stories that's like about Diddy coming out. I don't know what's gonna happen.
The girl in the box case has a scary new update. She was kidnapped and left in a box for 7 years, and the man responsible could be getting out of prison very shortly. It was the 1970s. 20-year-old Colleen Stan was planning on going from Oregon to California to attend a friend's birthday party, but that day her car didn't start. So she decided to hitchhike, which was a lot more common then than it is today in 2024. It was a long trip, but she hitched a ride from multiple cars and everything went smoothly, and it took her as far as they were going. Then a car full of rowdy young men pulled up next to Colleen and offered her a ride, and she just kind of got bad vibes and declined the ride. In the next car to pull up and offer Colleen a ride was a family, a young married couple and their little baby. What could be safer than that? So Colleen accepted and got in their car, and it would be a terrible mistake. Because that married couple was Cameron and Janice, and they had an agreement that Cameron could abduct and keep a young girl. Cameron kept Colleen in a box for years, only letting her out to cook or clean or be SA'd by him or be hurt. Pretty much just to fulfill all of Cameron's sick desires. Cameron was actually able to convince Colleen that a huge underground organization called The Company was behind all of this, and if she ever tried to leave, her and her family would get hurt, and that Colleen was essentially his property now. He had her completely brainwashed.
Eventually, he even let Colleen call her family and took her to visit them, pretending to be her fiance. He would let her go jogging, work at a hotel, because he knew that he had complete control over her. And the wife, Janice, was already pretty jealous about how much time her husband was spending with Colleen. So when Cameron came to her and said, "Hey, I want to abduct more girls and keep more girls," Janice had enough. Janice went to Colleen and told her that the stuff about the company was a total lie and actually let her escape after 7 years in captivity. And then she turned her husband in. This really pisses me off, but let me know your opinion. Investigators never charged Janice with anything because they saw her as a victim of Cameron's as well. But Cameron was found guilty and sentenced to 104 years in prison. But he's recently been fighting for his release. And in August of this year, so just a few months, he has a hearing. He's going to sit in front of a jury and try to show them that he's not a threat to society anymore. And if he does it successfully, he will be getting out of prison very, very shortly.
I don't know, man. That sounds like a dangerous man. I don't know if they should even try to let him out. The fact that the wife ain't getting no charges because she, I guess, got jealous. That's what made her step up and decide to stop that. Crazy ass case. If you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're truth seekers seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys hit that like button, man. Follow me on my social medias, man, so we can stay connected as a community. I really appreciate the support, man. We're doing these daily uploads. Hopefully you guys, man, enjoy them. I know I enjoy making these videos, man, just trying to get the truth out there. You guys gonna catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, what we do is, man, we break down scary and creepy videos on the net, on the web, man, from YouTube videos to TikTok videos, IG Reels, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, man, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, man, hitting that like button. You're pushing us in the algorithm. We're growing so we can try to find new seekers. Greatly appreciate the support. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best. Let's seek the truth.
Disturbing facts you didn't want to hear, part 2.
Okay.
Many doctors say that the most common last words they hear are, "I don't feel so good." Most laugh tracks you hear in TV shows were recorded in the 1950s, meaning that the people you hear laughing are probably dead. During the French Revolution, it was said that the guillotine had to be used multiple times to get the job done. The reason that planes shut off their lights right before they land is so that passengers' eyes can adjust to the dark just in case there's a crash. This is so if the power goes out during the crash landing, they can better find an escape route.
Crazy facts, man. You never knew.
These are shocking and bone-chilling facts you won't believe. Part 1. Up first, this is why you should always put your toilet seat down. When flushed, toilets expel small particles of water, urine, and feces, and, at times, dangerous pathogens that are invisible to the naked eye. Next up, in a study done by the University of Leicester, it was predicted that it would only take 100 days for zombies to take over the planet if a zombie outbreak ever happened. And what's even crazier, the university also predicted that after 100 days, only 300 humans would remain alive and uninfected.
What?
So what do you think? Are you going to be one of the 300 people left alive? Or are you just going to be a zombie after 100 days? Next up, this is Titanic survivor Catherine Gilnet, who was only 16 years old when the Titanic sank. But as the Titanic was sinking, she didn't realize the seriousness of the ship's situation until she reached New York.
What?
She thought that living in lifeboats and being picked up on another ship was all part of the journey. This is actually crazy, especially when everybody around you is screaming and drowning. So I have no idea how she didn't realize it was a real situation. And not only that, one of the most horrific events in human history.
This is how rare your body is compared to the rest of the world. Only 10% of the population have what is known as Morton's toe, making you extremely rare if you have this.
Ooh.
This is where your second toe is longer than your big toe. What's even more rare is only 5% of people's tongues are tied. This is literally where your tongue is tied to the bottom of your mouth, impacting eating and speech. Only 1% of people have unbreakable bones. And if you have this, you are literally considered a superhuman. It's a mutation that makes your bones several times denser than the average human, which means someone with this mutation could walk away from a fucking car crash completely fine. Only 10% of the population suffer from eczema. Most get it when they're a child. It's bullshit! Whereas others can get it further down the line. 50% of the population can fit their fists in their mouth. That's still pretty rare. If anyone can actually do this, please let me know. Can you tickle yourself? If so, then congratulations, you're a part of the rare 7% of the population who can actually do this. And finally, only 16% of people can make a roaring noise in their head, flexing a muscle in their jaw. Damn. Elon!
What the hell? Wrong in your head. Seekers, can y'all guys do that? I'm freaking putting the whole fist in your mouth, like you said. Y'all guys can do that, any of those? Tell me that below, baby. Community, man. I want to hear y'all stories, man, if y'all can. That's actually crazy. Things about our bodies, man. We never knew.
This is the 18-year-old hacker who managed to use nothing but an Amazon Fire Stick, a hotel TV, and a phone to leak clips from the new Grand Theft Auto. Aaron Kurtage from Oxford is part of Lapsus, a notorious international cybercrime gang thought to be made up of mostly teenagers. That hacked into big companies like Uber, costing them millions. When Aaron, who has autism, hacked into Rockstar Games and Services, he was already on bail for hacking into other major companies and living under police protection in a travel lodge. But despite having his laptop confiscated, he still managed to hack into one of the biggest games companies in the world, with just an Amazon Fire Stick, a TV, and a phone. He stole 90 clips and messaged Rockstar's internal messaging system, telling them they had 24 hours to get in touch with him before he'd release the game's sort code, which he did with the clips, and he was rearrested. His defense argued that the GTA trailer was still a success and that his hack hadn't caused serious harm, but the judge said that Lapsus had caused real harm to real victims from his other hacks, and that Aaron's skills and desire to commit cybercrime meant he was still a high risk to the public, and has now sentenced Aaron to live in a secure hospital for life, and he can only come out of hospital if doctors say he's no longer a danger.
Disturbing fact.
That's actually kind of crazy if you think about it. His skills is that advanced that he used a fire stick and a TV. He didn't even have access to a laptop. They had to confine him, bro. That's how, I guess, skillful he was hacking. I've never heard of something like that before. That's actually insane. All because he hacked GTA.
The average person walks past 36 murders in their lifetime. During World War II, Japan bombed China with fleas infected with the bubonic plague.
What?
Heartbreak can trigger a massive flood of emotions that can cause fatal heart attacks. People's general happiness peaks at 21 and does not reach that level again until they retire. People who stay up late at night have more psychopathic tendencies than those who sleep early.
Really? I go to sleep at night, and I'm not a psychopath. The more you know.
Here's what would happen if you stopped sleeping.
Alright.
In the first 24 hours, you would actually feel great. This is because sleeplessness stimulates the mesolimbic pathway in your brain, causing you to feel happy and full of energy. But soon after reaching the 24-hour mark, your reactions will become slow, your brain will begin to be forgetful, and you will appear drunk to others. After 2 days of not sleeping, your body would begin to shut down. It would not metabolize glucose properly, leaving you with little energy. After 3 days, your eyes would go red, you would look pale, and you would begin to hallucinate, with all your worst nightmares seemingly coming to life. Then after 2 weeks, your immune system would become so weak that you could even die from the common flu. And after 3 weeks, you'd probably die from a heart attack. Comment what's the longest time you've gone without sleep.
I think the most I've gone is like a day. That's the most
So
I can
on
last.
Mother's Day, here's the one animal that doesn't get to have one. And I mean that in the worst way. This is a sea louse. That's right, just like the ones that violate fish. It all starts with a male snatching up a lady louse and dragging her into his coitus cave. That's what I'm calling it. If I say what it really is, this video won't see the light of day. And inside there could be up to 25 other prisoners just like her. Hopeless people, and I mean parasites. That's bad enough, but like the world of Ray Charles, it only gets darker. You see, lice don't multiply the same way we do. They have something called traumatic insemination. Sure is, because it involves the female getting her abdomen stabbed through by the male. Basically essentially a love shank. And after every last captive has been injected, that's when the nightmare really starts. Because now each pregnant louse has hundreds of tiny lice wriggling around her insides. The difference is when us mothers give birth, with them children take life. The many little lice start feeding on the mother from the inside until eventually her body splits open and a brood of Norman Bateses crawl out of her withered husk of a corpse, spilling out into the sea to continue this really messed up cycle. And if you ever watch Slither, yeah, same thing. Matter of fact, this has the Bay written all over it. And we have time, so some lice will crawl through a fish's gills, sever the blood vessels in the tongue, wait for it to wither and fall off, and then they become the tongue. Billions of dollars a year for NASA just for the real ET-ish to be right here. The more you know.
Videos that seem innocent but have a terrifying backstory. Part 9. In 2015, married couple David and Louise Turpin traveled to Las Vegas to renew their wedding vows with an Elvis impersonator. The couple appears to be cheerful, having a very happy family with many children. But 3 years after this video was taken, one of the daughters managed to escape the home and go to the authorities. As it turns out, all 13 children had been locked up in the house, abused, and malnourished. In one of his final live streams, popular Twitch streamer Byron Bernstein, better known by his Twitch name Wreckful, joked about suicide and even mentioned testing out to see if he could survive a fall from his balcony. A month after the stream aired, Byron took his own life by jumping from that very same balcony. In 2014, adventure YouTuber Snakebit McGee uploaded a video entitled MK Pike.
I'm looking for a cave that I found. Something about that cave just spooked me. This one just made my body vibrate.
He has since gone missing and to this day has never been found.
Well, what he found in that cave? We've seen those clips before, man.
The absolute worst ways people have died, part 7. Octavia Hatcher. In 1889, she was married to James Hatcher, and a couple of years later they had a son together who died shortly after birth. Then she developed depression. She soon fell ill, slipped into a coma and died. But suddenly other people in town were falling ill and going into comas. James wanted to know if his wife died from this illness or depression, so he dug up her grave. Inside he found part of the casket destroyed and had nails on the ground with blood. She had an expression of pure fear. Octavia Hatcher was buried alive.
What in the world? How the hell did that happen? We're gonna need more to that story, man. We're gonna have to deep dive into that one. So it's just a fake, and whoever did it, man, they just try to bury her alive. Seems like he found her just in time. Man, this world is crazy. He has some crazy stories.
This photo shows 14-year-old Ava Wood and her father Christopher, who would later murder his daughter with a 20-gauge shotgun before turning the weapon on himself. Ava was a 9th grade student from Baldwinsville, New York, who was a member of the honor roll and MVP of the girls' soccer team. But on January 20th of this year, Ava's mother called the police asking if they could check up on her daughter because Ava hadn't shown up for school that morning. She explains that Ava was home with her father, who was severely depressed, and that the night before they had spoken on the phone together when he said, "This is how it ends for us." Ava's mother then gives the police officers a key to get into the house, but when they step inside, what they see is devastating. Ava and her father are in 2 separate bedrooms. Both of them have gunshot wounds, and the dad's are self-inflicted. This case is absolutely heartbreaking, and we may never know why Ava's father chose to do this to that poor girl on her birthday.
I don't know. Birthday, man. When you're saying this is how it ends being so cryptic, that's a dark story, man. That's an edit.
This teenager accidentally admitted to killing people to the police while he was playing a video game. A gamer
He was raging.
Elijah was having a normal day while he was playing on Rainbow Six Siege. The game is described as an online tactical shooter video game.
Yeah.
Unfortunately for Elijah, he accidentally pocket dialed 911 while talking on his headset. As he told his friends, "I just killed 2 people," the operator mistakenly thought he was admitting to a double homicide. He carried on playing, having no idea that the authorities were listening in. Within minutes, officers swarmed his house. Elijah had heard the dog barking, so he went outside to see what the noise was. He was met with an officer pointing a gun at him and was obviously completely shocked. He immediately started to try and explain, stating, "I was playing the game and I butt dialed the phone, that was my bad." Reluctantly, Elijah had to call his mum, who had no idea what was going on, and she was at work. He had to explain to her why there was loads of police outside the house questioning him.
This is why you should never dye your hair.
Tabitha was a 17-year-old girl that would continuously dye her hair all the time. One night, she was hanging out with her best friend who decided they would dye their hair together. Approximately 20 minutes after she put the dye in her hair, she got up and went to the bathroom. She began pulling at her hair, screaming and vomiting before collapsing in agony on her friend's floor.
Whoa.
Medics rushed her to the hospital where she unfortunately died due to an allergic reaction from the hair dye.
That's crazy, man. From hair dye? She died so many times. Like her body, I guess, didn't adjust to the new one that she had just put on. That's what happened. I've seen people dye their hair a couple of times, maybe once or twice, but I guess hearing her, she kept doing it multiple times. And her body just wasn't used to it anymore.
2 high school students are dead
that.
after their friends dared them to jump off a bridge. Ryan Al Nasser and Zachariah Char leapt into a South Carolina lake after friends in their group chat challenged them to do so, but both tragically drowned as a result. According to police, it appeared one of the boys jumped first, then the other jumped in to rescue him when he saw he was in distress. It took officials 2 days to locate the bodies.
Those truth or dare games, man, they can turn deadly. It's never wrong with backing out if it's too much for you. It'll go too far.
A new study suggests that Gen Z are now facing a blindness epidemic.
What?
It reveals that nearsightedness has increased a massive 59% in Gen Z. And the United Nations say that by 2030, it's going to affect 40% of the world's population. A top eye surgeon said that the leading cause is that youth are now spending too much time with their electronics too close to their face during a critical time in their life when they should be getting natural sunlight. I'm gonna have to say it. Blind generation before
so-called British
crazy.
eco-activist has poured a bucket of human excrement over a war memorial dedicated to a World War II veteran who raised over $33 million for charity. The stunt, led by 21-year-old Maddie Budd, carried out for the pressure group End UK Private Jets, showed her dousing the steel war memorial in human urine and feces. The monument honours World War II veteran Captain Sir Tom Moore, who sadly passed away at the age of 100 last year. He raised over £33 million during the COVID lockdown by walking 100 laps of his garden for charity. Hailed as a national hero and honoured with a knighthood by Her late Majesty the Queen, his memorial was disgustingly and appallingly defaced under the pretence of activism. Medical school dropout has since been arrested and charged with suspected criminal damage. Budd tried to justify her actions by saying that every time a private jet takes off, it pours and blood onto everything that Sir Captain Moore stood for. I'm not sure we completely agree with that. Her father, Jim Budd, said she had gone rogue after she dropped out of medical school, becoming a full-time eco-warrior, also adding he felt sick and was ashamed of his daughter and her actions. Many have flocked to Twitter to express their disgust over the protest, saying that Budd has thrown a lot more away than just the contents of that bucket. What do you guys think? Activism can be really progressive, but when it involves vandalising a war memorial, that crosses a firm line.
What do you guys think?
If I was at the zoo and an animal escaped, I would feel infinitely safer if that animal was a tiger, a bear, or a gorilla. Gorilla, my bad, no ER, don't send me to one. Then if it was a bunch of baboons. Baboons are underrated and not in a positive way. This Miles Monkey's proof that animals are as vegetarian as their options, and baboons will pack up literally anything that doesn't inspire them first. I knew baboons were one of the ones when I found out they'll rush a gazelle that's just given birth just to eat the baby alive the same way you might eat a chicken wing. Sometimes they'll get bold and break into farms to murk sheep and goats. Matter of fact, baboons are a known predator of vervet monkeys, because Miles monkeys don't discriminate, anyone can get it. I literally couldn't even show you the picture if I wanted to. You know they're on time when you find out. Sometimes they'll run into chimps and bully them. Turn a chimp to a pansy. Hope you had a plan B. See, you thought was sweet. No candy. They live in groups called troops. You run a fade with one, you get smoked by the whole hood. That's a leopard with a life lesson. They'll even give the lap track of the savannah something to cry about. Now, but by far, the most nefarious thing they do, so basically, a lot of animals like impala and antelope will use baboons as alarm calls against predators. So if they hear a baboon broadcast, they know to do the dash. Baboons figure this out and we're like, the only safe line is a fed line, and fed is exactly how they operate.
What?
They will watch lions plot on prey, and not only will they not warn them with the alarm, they'll even get on the ground and stroll around and give the gazelle or whoever a false sense of security. So the antelope gets murked, the lions get fed, and the backdoor baboon gets diplomatic immunity. Yeah, baboons are one of them. Oh, and they carjack people.
Man hasn't pooped in 19 years, but when he finally did, you won't believe what unfolded. 16-year-old Paul was a lively kid, but always faced ridicule at school because he had never pooped in his life. His classmates dubbed him a weirdo. Paul's parents believed he was a blessing from God, a cut above the rest, but he didn't share that sentiment. Paul didn't want to be treated differently. Once he sneaked into the restroom to try and poop. He exerted all his strength, but nothing came out. Eventually, he passed out from straining too hard. Paul grew more and more self-conscious, but at the age of 22, something bizarre happened all of a sudden. Paul's belly began to swell, and it was expanding at a visibly rapid pace every day. His abdomen also started to ache. At this point, he knew he had to see a doctor. The doctor had never seen such a case and immediately arranged various tests for Paul. During the wait, Paul already felt intense agony. The doctor first gave him painkillers, which alleviated it a bit. An hour later, the test results were not promising. Soon after, Paul was rushed into the emergency surgery room. You won't believe what they extracted from his body.
Damn, they didn't finish. Secret, man, I'm gonna find out part for you. That's a crazy ass story. Is he just like bagged up or something?
Man cut off men's genitals on a live stream and sold their body parts. Marius Gustavon is a 46-year-old man from Norway. He decided to set up his own company in 2017, providing probably the most shocking and gruesome service I've ever heard. The business gave customers the opportunity to voluntarily have their male reproductive organs cut off. Between 2017 and 2021, the company gained over 22,000 subscribers.
What the f-
Marius ended up making over $300,000. On one particular shocking live stream, Marius got 3 men to cut off his own reproductive organs with a knife. Other live streams involved things such as a male being electrocuted, strapped to a bed, and being branded with initials. Another involved Marius cooking some male genitals and then eating them on camera. Some of the males involved were as young as 16.
What the f-
Marius recently pleaded guilty to crimes including conspiracy to commit GBH, creating and distributing indecent images of a child, and possessing extreme P. He's also been sentenced regarding genital mutilation and selling body parts. He's been given a minimum of 22 years in prison. Another male involved in the business was 67-year-old Peter Waits. He was found to have a box of male genitals when police searched his house.
What the f-
He's been given between 4 and 12 years in prison.
Scarlett Johansson
He actually made
left
money off
shocked,
that.
angered, and in disbelief over ChatGPT's new voice Sky that allegedly sounds just like her.
Hello, I'm here.
So if an AI chatbot sounded eerily like you, could you do anything about it? Let's go back 9 months, when Scarlett says she was approached by OpenAI's CEO, Sam Altman. In a statement, she claims that Sam wanted to use her voice to make people feel comfortable with AI, but she declined. Fast forward to now, and she's discovered Sky, whose voice is so similar that her closest friends couldn't even tell the difference. Scarlett even alleges that it was intentional, because Sam tweeted the single word her, possibly referencing the movie where she voiced an AI assistant. Now, OpenAI has suspended Sky, and it's denied that the company intentionally copied Scarlett, but it's opening up a conversation online about individual rights, deepfakes, and ownership of our own identities. Very much like when Taylor Swift found herself targeted by AI photo-generated controversy. But Scarlett now wants legislation to protect ourselves.
I gotta agree with her on that. I mean, people just think they could just take your image and likeness and just use it for any and everything. It's like the thing is, she declined it, and he still went ahead and used it anyway, man. So there has to be some sort of, I guess, actions, right, for him, because she said no, and he still did it anyway. But since he's the company of the CEO of freaking OpenAI, you know nothing ain't gonna happen. That's insane, man. That's why we gotta be careful using these AI programs, because once we upload ourselves to that system, it's over. They have our image and likeness, and they can do whatever they want with it. The hell is that?
Unless you want your own Twitter hashtag, never do what he did. Trust me, you're gonna want to favorite this video so you never end up in this situation. You, my friend, have just caught death itself. The giant hornet. This hornet will come after you in the morning, and by the evening it will own your house, your family, and even your mortgage.
What?
Why am I so concerned by this person's well-being? Well, let's start with the fact that these have photographic memories, and you have caught it in a plastic see-through cup. You have the desire to meet your ancestors. Now, a sting from one of these is about as nasty as it looks, described as hot metal being poured into your body. And not only that, they can spit spray venom too. They don't just have to sting you. And before anyone thinks, no, this isn't a wasp without a couple protein shakes. Want to know what these hornets do for fun? They raid beehives, and they completely Thanos everything inside of that nest. They can fly up to 25 miles per hour. He can only run 27. To pray for him in the comments. Yo, Lord!
Those murder hornets, man. They do come after you, man. Even regular hornets too. If you take out one of them, it's like a whole swarm of them will just come after you, man. So you gotta be careful when you fighting some hornets. I've seen that happen, man. I've heard stories about that as well, actually. So be careful, man, when you fight those hornets. Crazy facts, man. Crazy clips we learned today. Seekers, if you guys stay with me to the end of the video, you're a true seeker, is seeking the truth. I really appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, man. Hit that post notification bell so we can get pushed into this algorithm. We can find more seekers, man. We can just take off and grow. Like I said, hopefully you guys enjoying these daily videos I'm uploading for you guys. I'm enjoying the process, man. Like I said, we're still going to get better with each and every video. Tell me what I can do better, man. Like I said, I'm always open to criticisms. I'm out. Peace, YouTube. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. How you guys doing? Hopefully you guys are doing all right, man. If you guys are brand new to the channel, you guys don't know what we do, man. We scour the internet, man. We look for creepy, weird, and unusual videos, man. From TikTok videos to IG videos, Facebook, anything weird, usual, and unexplained you can find right here on this channel. Just want to thank my supporters, man, who's tapping into the channel, subscribing, hitting that post notification bell, hitting that like button, man. You're really pushing us in the algorithm. I really appreciate the support, man. So continue to do that, man. We're going to continue to grow. Found this video for you guys today, man. Let's do what we do best, seekers. Let's seek the truth.
Case. I will never forget my friend Emily telling me I should listen to this little podcast called Crime Junkie.
Okay.
In one of the episodes, they discuss the crazy disappearance of Amy Lynn Bradley. Let me tell you about it. I also didn't realize this. I'm recording this on March 24th, which will be the 23rd anniversary of her disappearance. March 1st, 1998, the Bradley family took a week-long cruise ship vacation together. They were having a blast. Everything was going really well. In the early hours of March 24th, Amy was hanging out, drinking, having a good time. She was hanging out with the cruise ship band Blue Orchid. According to one of the band members, commonly known as Yellow, said that the two split ways around 1 a.m. Just a little after 5 a.m., Ron, her father, found her sleeping on the cabin balcony but didn't wake her. And then around 6 a.m. when he went to check on her again, she was not there. The family immediately started to panic because Amy wouldn't go anywhere without telling anybody.
The hell? Okay, so we got some from the story so far. She was hanging out with the band members. She was having a good time. But then at 6, when they came back to her cabin, she was just gone. That's one of the most scariest things, man. Just to think about it. You can be here 1 second, gone the next, man. That's how you always have to be aware. Check behind corners whenever you're going somewhere. If you're out, make sure nobody looking at you strange, because they might have some weird ideas.
Despite the Bradley family not knowing where Amy was and reporting her missing, the cruise ship docked in Curacao and continued to let everybody off the boat and continue their vacation.
What?
So there really wasn't a thorough search done until too late, honestly. Of course, if people go missing on a cruise ship, the first thing that everybody assumes is they went overboard. Amy, though, was a lifeguard. People thought maybe she drank too much and slipped off of the balcony. Emily wanted everybody to know, though, that Amy packed 10 pairs of shoes. After she went missing, all 10 shoes were still there. So if she left without shoes. There was an extensive search for her, but it did end on March 29th. One key detail before she went missing is very strange and worth mentioning. Amy noticed that during some of their family dinners, like they're dressed up for here, the waitstaff was very nice to her, very flirty, to where she kind of felt uncomfortable and vocally said this. After she went missing, though, they noticed that all of these types of photos taken of Amy were actually missing. It's unclear who took them, but it is assumed that it was the ship crew. Despite us thinking that her father...
Whoa. So that puts more into perspective now. Like, maybe there is one of the crew members, they got mad, or because she kept turning down their advances because she said it was getting flirty. It's like, there's always that one worker at work, man. Instead of being at work doing your job, man. It was trying to flirt with the customer or something like that, or somebody was just there. You ain't even focusing on your job, man. You too busy flirting. It's like people like that, they can't take no for an answer, man. They just can't handle rejection. No means no.
Father Ron was the last person to see her. Amy's brother was claiming that he was the last person to see her, and says that Amy told him she was going to get cigarettes. The brother told the family this, however, the parents wanted to check the ship first. So it's possible she did get off, could buy cigarettes, got left. Something could have happened, anything could have happened. After the search on the ship had ended, the vacation had ended, there were a lot of sightings of people that could have been Amy. Some tourists allegedly saw her in Curacao. She was laying on the beach and they thought that this was her based on her matching tattoos. All four of them and her navel ring matched Amy's. However, not much more could be done after this. Also in 1999, a member of the United States Navy apparently saw a woman that looked similar to Amy in a brothel. However, he didn't say anything about this until later in fear of getting in trouble for being in a brothel. So if it was her, there was a missed opportunity to investigate it further. In 2005 in Barbados, there was also a possible sign of her as well, with 3 strange men. There was a composite sketch drawn of the 3 men and the person who looked like Amy.
So many theories.
The woman in the bathroom confronted supposed Amy, and supposed Amy said that her name was Amy and she was from Virginia, which is accurate to Amy Bradley. They were not able to track down who this was or the 3 men. And in an alarming turn of events, a group that searches for people who have been human trafficked found this photo and emailed it to the Bradley family. It looks a lot like her if you ask me. There's even this mock-up here that shows you identical jewelry, similar face, just more makeup. But they of course couldn't really track where this photo had came from. Somebody in the human trafficking ring had posted this. And then unfortunately this case just takes a very sad turn after this. Somebody had approached the Bradley family saying that they were an ex-Navy SEAL and they knew of her whereabouts. He just needed a little bit of money to get there. The Bradley family sent him over $200,000 for him to get help and get the daughter.
No way.
However, it was all a scam. I wasn't sure of the time.
Man, this case is going through freaking twists and turns. Seems like the worst had happened, man. Then someone is coming along saying they have the location, and then they scam the family out of $200,000. Like, how can people even do that, man? They're already going through something, man, tragic, and you coming along looking for some money. Oh, this is my perfect time to exploit them. What be going through people's mind seekers? I truly don't get it.
Timeline of this or when exactly this happened.
Really?
But in Aruba, a human jawbone actually washed up on shore. This was actually tested for Natalie Holloway, who also vanished in Aruba. Fortunately, though, it was not tested for Amy or any of the other women who had vanished in the Caribbean. This truly is a devastating case. I don't know what happened to her, but if I had to make a theory, I assume it's her on the bed in that photo. It just really looks like her, and it's absolutely horrifying and breaks my heart. Comment and tell me what you think happened to Amy Lynn Bradley.
I need y'all theories down below. What do you guys think happened?
True Stories from American Horror Story, Part 7.
Alright.
In the first episode, we're introduced to Kit Walker and his wife Alma, who goes missing after a powerful, loud noise and blinding light consumed their entire house. Later, we learn that Alma was actually abducted by aliens.
What the?
This story is based on the abduction of Betty and Barney Hill. In September of 1961, Betty and Barney were driving home, and they noticed an extremely bright light in the sky, which they first believed was just a falling star. But as they kept driving, this light became brighter and closer. Before they knew it, the couple claimed a pancake-shaped craft was hovering over their car. Barney claimed to have seen anywhere from 8 to 11 what he called humanoid figures staring at them from the window.
No way.
The next morning, the Hills tried their best to remember exactly what happened the night before. However, they said they couldn't remember much after hearing a series of rhythmic buzzing and beeping sounds. This case became the U.S.'s first publicized alien abduction.
Wow, so they really publicized an alien abduction, man. I'm going to have to look at that list, Seekers. Maybe try to find a couple more clips for y'all and put them in the next video. And it's an American Horror Story, man. That's the second time, bro. Like, I heard a story about that. It's based off a true story, man. I'm telling you, the media we're consuming, they always saying it's based on, like, fiction or something like that. No, like, it's based on something, man. There's always a backstory to these stories we're watching on TV. Just keep that in mind, man, when we're watching these movies and shows. They don't want us to know the truth, man.
This
this man captured this sonar image, which supposedly is the Loch Ness Monster. The object was around 33 foot long, and if that's not enough, he caught it again on sonar just weeks later, leaving experts stunned. Excited by the finding, leading sonar expert Craig Wallace said he's willing to come to Loch Ness with more sophisticated sonar equipment and try to find whatever it is that's hiding down there.
We believe in the Loch Ness Monster Seekers. There's been a lot of cases, man, that debunked. Like you say, found some on the sonar readings, and it looked kind of legit to me, man. They got an expert going out there too. We're gonna have to follow up on that one.
The most murderous woman in history is Queen Rana Valona, also known as the Mad Queen of Madagascar. She poisoned her husband to take the throne, then eliminated political rivals, and she just killed anyone she didn't like.
Damn.
Her favorite methods included boiling, burning, and burying people alive,
Oh,
or
she crazy.
hanging people off cliffs by ropes and then allowing the ropes to slowly break.
Yeah, she crazy.
Additionally, with regular warfare, cultural preservation against foreigners, and difficult forced labor, she reduced Madagascar's population by millions. And she had to live until she was 83, even taking out a few more people at her funeral when a barrel full of gunpowder mysteriously exploded. The hungriest man in history lived in 18th century France. Terrari reportedly had a huge stretched out mouth and tons of excess skin around his stomach that expanded when he ate. He was always hungry but never put on weight despite eating constantly. He would consume live animals, lots of trash, and it's rumored humans. The army even tried to use his ability to eat anything by making him eat a box with a secret document inside to transport, but he sucked at being a spy and was quickly captured by the enemies. Eventually, when he died, an autopsy showed that his organs were deformed and that his stomach took up nearly all of his abdominal cavity.
One night, a cop was driving along a long stretch of highway in Canada, infamously known as the Highway of Tears. The cop spotted a truck pulling out of an old abandoned logging road at a late hour of the night, driving suspiciously. The cop just had a bad feeling, so he pulled the truck over to find what looked like if the failed love child of a third Paul brother and He-Man worked at a gas station. 20-year-old Cody Ledjabokov. Cody was in shorts and a t-shirt, he had blood on him, and when they searched his vehicle, they found some bloody tools and a backpack with the identification of a young girl inside. When they were like, hey, what's up with all the blood? He was just like, I just got done clubbing a deer to death, saying, quote, I'm a redneck, that's what we do for fun. The officer arrested him for poaching, but still knew something wasn't adding the up. You don't just get kids named Cody roaming around in the middle of winter in shorts and a t-shirt covered in blood on the Highway of Tears in the middle of the night. So the cop decided to venture up the old logging path looking for this deer. Instead, he would discover a trail of blood leading to the body of 15-year-old Lauren Leslie. After he was arrested and interrogated, they linked him through DNA to 3 more unsolved murders, making him Canada's youngest serial killer.
Damn.
Hi, I'm Cam, and this Jeffrey Dahmer obsessed fan took it way too far. On June 20th, 2020, 19-year-old Chance Seneca met up with 18-year-old Holden White after they had been talking through Grindr for over a month. When the two finally met, Holden said it scarred him for life. Holden said everything was fine until Chance left the room, returned, and started choking him with a cord. Holden was choked by Chance until every blood vessel in his face ruptured. He lost his vision and then his consciousness. And I want to give a warning because this is about to get very graphic. Holden woke up in Chance's bathtub to him slicing open his left wrist. He was naked, soaked in his own blood, and on the verge of death. He repeated to himself, stay calm, thinking it was the end. Holden was in a coma for 3 days. On that 3rd day, he saw a light and he went towards it. He woke up with a breathing tube down his throat, wrapped in bandages all over. Holden had suffered 6 stab wounds to the neck, blunt force trauma to his head, and deep cuts in his wrist. Chance had called the police thinking he had murdered Holden. What's even more disturbing is Chance has tried to kidnap and dismember 2 other gay men. He planned on using
their bodies as trophies? Man. Well, when somebody gets deep into that, and they infatuated with a person, man, they trying to recreate, especially a person like Jeffrey Dahmer, and they try to recreate what he did. You already know that's a damn red flag. It's crazy, man. People just be trying to go on, they just trying to meet up or something. That's why I say you gotta be careful, man. When you meet up with people, you always gotta do it in the public area or something like that, because cases like this happen. Because they infatuated with that person. They think that they can become by doing what they did. Man. It's actually crazy. YouTube, that's it, man, for this video for you guys today, man. Like I said, if you guys made it with me to the end, you're a real one seeking the truth. I greatly appreciate the support, man. Like I said, guys, make sure you guys subscribe, hit that post notification bell, man. Hit that like button, man. Like, so like we can grow together. We can grow this community out. Hopefully you guys like my new reactor style, man. Like I said, I've been seeing the comments. You guys really enjoying it. Pausing way less. I'm just letting the videos play through. And I'm trying to, actually, I'm talking way less, and I'm letting the videos play through, man. So hopefully you guys enjoy this. Gonna continue to do my daily uploads. Guys, and catch you in the next one, man. I'm out. Peace, YouTube.